and welcome to the Abundology podcast. My name is Renee Spears, and I'm an abundance channeler and business mentor, and I help people be happy and have more money, love, time, and joy in their lives. I'm coming to you from downtown Portland, Oregon, and this is the weekly energy update for the week of July 5th, 2020. Every Sunday, I talk about how the energy is going to be for the week ahead, and I also infuse the show with some positive vibes so you get a positive energy boost just for listening. So this week, let's just start with a deep breath. The first half of this year has been so full of change that we just need a break. We need to take a little time out before we continue on with the rest of the year. And this is the time to take it. Last night was the full Buck Moon in Capricorn, and we also had an eclipse, and it was the last of the 3 eclipses that we've been experiencing over the last 6 weeks. So after this eclipse, we have a few months break before we return to the final eclipse season that starts in November. And yes, it seems like 2020 has had a lot of eclipses. We normally have 4 a year, but this year we have 6. And 2020 was always destined to be this big transformative year. So rather than fighting against all of this transformation, let's learn to embrace it. Let's learn to go with the flow and surrender to the journey of our life. And by doing this, things seem to be a little less stressful. And July is one of the months, along with August, where we just get the opportunity to recharge. And since this eclipse is not only the last eclipse of the season, but it's also the last eclipse of this Cancer Capricorn eclipse cycle that started back in May of 2018. So the good news is we don't have another eclipse cycle like with Capricorn and Cancer for another 8 years. But this eclipse is like the grand finale point of the 4th of July, the grand finale, and its energy feels detoxifying. We're going to need to purge a little bit, and I have definitely felt that energy. I cleaned out my closets again. I don't know where all of the stuff I have comes from, but I made a clean sweep again through my clothes and purged those. But it feels satisfying, and we will have the sense that we finally reached the end of a journey that we have been on. And on a global scale, this full moon eclipse cautions us to address inequality, which we see out there. That's happening right now. But it helps us make these sweeping changes to usher in a new way of living, a more balanced and productive life. So now is the time to take a look back and evaluate how far we've come in the last 2-year cycle of bringing more balance into our lives. And as we know, eclipses in astrology are all about realigning us with our fate. So they often bring these swift and profound changes. And I have heard from many of you over the last month that you have had huge changes happen in 24 hours. I have one person who always wanted to move to Florida. Years from now, I think I might move to Florida where my family's from. And then all of a sudden, that job comes in Florida and you're moving next Tuesday. So those are the kind of changes that we're talking about. And when we're dealing with a full moon lunar eclipse in particular, as we are this weekend, we can expect new information or unexpected feelings to be brought to light. And we can anticipate sudden endings and conclusions as chapters come to a big close. So we have the end of the small eclipse season that we've been in, but we also have the end of this 2-year cycle eclipse season. So that stuff's wrapping up. Chapters are coming to a close, to a big close. And this week we get to regain our footing a little bit. And we regain it, though, only if we take a break and allow ourselves to regain it. And if you got distracted over these past 6 months, which honestly, if you didn't, yay for you, because this has been a really trying time to get through, and most people have been distracted. But this is our time to get back on track. And we do that by taking a break, by breathing, by rethinking our plans or what we thought that we wanted. We set our intention to get back on track because what we know now is that life is not stopping for us. And the past 6 months have thrown most of us off of our path, but that's okay. This is our opportunity to get centered and get back on our path, or a new path, because we realized over the past 6 months that what we thought we wanted isn't exactly what will make us happy. And for many of us, this may be the realization that material things just don't fill up your soul. They just don't do it. This is the time, once and for all, to stop focusing on the amount of money you make and start focusing on being happy. So this week, we just take a break and we just only focus on being happy. Okay, I'm giving you a week to be happy. And so what makes you happy? And I'm talking about the simple things, like maybe just taking a walk with your dog, eating fresh watermelon, maybe it's listening to Lizzo on full blast. What makes you happy? So identify it and then do it. I do want to caution you, though, that as we focus on being happy this week, there may be some big things that you recognize that don't make you as happy as you thought they would, or thought they might, or thought they did. And that's okay. Now we know, and now we can change them. But this week, we're just making an inventory of what we love and what we don't love, what makes us happy and what doesn't make us happy. And this is just the inventory. We can change in the future the big things that aren't making us happy. Don't worry about that this week. This week, we're taking a break. We're taking a break. We're eating watermelon. I was going to say we're picking berries, but I haven't seen too many that are ripe yet. Oh, I guess blueberries and cherries are ripe right now, but it's just kind of like that summer. Take a break, have a barbecue, go for a walk, go to the river, put your feet in the water, that type of a week. Also, every year during the first week of July, there is a sacred gateway of energy, which is activated between Earth and the star Sirius. And during this time, vibrations and energy are activated and they're higher. And it's a time where all of humanity can raise their level of consciousness. And this time is called the Sirius Gateway. And right now, there's all this high intensity energy that just gets beamed into our bodies and our souls. Sirius is considered to hold energy that is far more advanced than our own sun. And when that star moves closer to Earth, it can have a profound spiritual influence on us. So every year from July 3rd to the 7th, the Sirius energy is able to freely flow between Earth, and it opens up this gateway of energy. So during this time, the vibrations on Earth are much higher and much more powerful, increasing our levels of creativity, boosting our soul energy, heightening our intuition, and making us happier. So let's take this break this week, breathe, just be in the moment, experience the simple things of summer that make you happy. Okay, so I guess I kind of just did a recap. We take a break, we relax, we breathe, we figure out what makes us happy, and we do those simple things. And if we notice there are larger things that don't make us happy, we don't need to do anything about them this week. We just notice it, we put it on the back burner of our mind because we've already committed to a week of just relaxing and taking a break so that we can continue on the rest of the year more balanced. So as always, thank you for listening. Remember, I am offering the 30-minute sessions now in case you have one quick issue you want some clarity on. The messages from the universe have been really strong lately, maybe because of the Sirius Gateway. So if you feel like I have a message for you, book an appointment and let's see what comes up. So have a lovely, relaxing week. Take a break before we get started on the second half of 2020, and I will talk to you next week.